Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Ashim. I'm a percussionist based out of Delhi, and for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been practicing this instrument called and performing this instrument called a steel tongue drum. There are two types of instruments. So there's a steel tongue drum, and there's also a hand pan. These are two types of instruments that I play, which are both melodic as well as percussive. First of all, thank you so much, Sofar Sounds Goa, for having me here. It's great to connect with you all after some time. My connection with Sofar Sounds Goa actually goes back to 2018. We actually started. The first time I met people from Sofar Sounds Goa was in October 2018 when I was invited to perform for their anniversary gig, their first year anniversary gig at Diwar Island, and that was quite an experience for me. It was my second Sofar show that I've done, and it was really amazing. There were a set of four other artists that were there along with me, and a large amount of people that actually showed up, and there was a lot of support given from the team. It was just a great evening for all of us that I miss even till date today. And I'm glad to be back, even if it's virtual, on hashtag Quarantuned. And I hope everyone back at home in their respective homes are doing well and are staying safe in these times of uncertainty and difficulty for everyone. So I'm going to get right to it. Like I said, this is a steel tongue drum. It's a little more than, I think, about 12 or 13 years old now in terms of its origin. I think it originated in around 2007. And yeah, the cuts on the instrument are the reason why it's actually called a steel tongue drum. The tongues, because the cuts are actually shaped in the form of a tongue, and it's melodic and percussive. And I'm going to start with in the last couple of weeks of being at home doing nothing, being away from work and not being able to be on the ground. I've had time to actually spend on my own with nature and actually work on different compositions, try out different things. So a lot of today is actually going to be about that. But before we begin, just very, very quickly for everyone, So Far Sounds Goa is doing some amazing work, but along with that, they are also supporting this citizen-driven organization. It's a volunteer-driven organization, and Nupura is doing some amazing work on ground. The organization is called Goa Humanitarian Helpline, and all proceeds from today's show are going to be going to this organization. Whatever you contribute, as low as even 50 rupees, as high as whatever you can, because it's all going for relief work and it's all going for people who need this money desperately for any kind of relief work. At this point in Goa, so do contribute. And yeah, I'm gonna get to the music, and I hope you guys enjoy this set. I'm gonna be with you for about half an hour today, so I hope you guys enjoy what you're listening to. Yeah. So this first one is actually it's a new composition. I've been working on it for the last couple of days. It's actually, I've given it a name. It's called Rise Up, and yeah, I hope you guys like it. Thank you guys for those of you tuning in. Just a reminder, I think there were less people earlier, there are more people who've joined in now. So for those of you who just joined in midway through, there is a comment. I'm not sure if I was able to pin it to the top, but you can also go on to Sofar Sounds Goa's page, or you can go on to Goa Humanitarian Helpline. They have a page on Facebook and on Instagram. So go check out the organization, and please do contribute generously, because it's a citizen-led organization, like I said, and they're doing some amazing work on ground in terms of relief for people who need it. So please do contribute. All proceeds from today. I'm trying to raise as much as I can from here in Delhi and do whatever possible from this small space of mine, because we can't really be going out too much. So yes, do whoever is tuning in and whoever's wanting to help out in whatever way they can. This is one medium through which you can. The next one that I'm going to do. So this last one I did was called Rise Up. The next composition that I'm going to do, people who, if there's anyone who's tuning in who was actually there for the anniversary gig, this is what I played at Sofar Sounds first year anniversary, Sofar Sounds Goa first year anniversary at Diwar Island. So this one is actually called it's called Sounds of Schwanheim, and it's a composition that was born out of an experience that I had a couple of years back in June 2018 in this space called Schwanheim, which is a community forest in Frankfurt. So I actually got to spend about 4 or 5 days in Frankfurt, and was living in a small part of Frankfurt called Schwanheim, and it has a beautiful forest. So if you ever go there, do check out Schwanheim. It's a beautiful space. A lot of community events that happen there. A lot of people who just go there to spend their evenings. So I actually used to spend my mornings there. I'm not a very early morning person, but I was able to wake up to spend some time with nature. And I'd actually recorded a lot of these sounds of nature. So whatever it is, whether it's bird calls or it's rustling of leaves, it's the sound of trees or the sound of wind. And I tried to start making a composition around that. Unfortunately, I lost those recordings. So large part of what I wanted to do with my next album that I'm working on right now is to fuse sounds of nature and fuse different sounds that I get inspired by into the compositions that I'm working with. So I couldn't do that, unfortunately, and what I did at Sofar Sounds Goa event in October was that I got the audience to actually recreate those sounds. So they actually recreated the sound of rain. You can check out the video on YouTube. It's available on their channel. So I'm going to play it for you all, and you can imagine yourself in a forest. Please do if you want. I've been trying to do these things over the last couple of weeks while we've all been at home to connect people together through my music. Is if you have a notepad and a pen and you want to draw, you want to write, do something that is inspiring you during these times right now while listening to the music, or anything that this music, wherever this music is sort of taking you, feel free to do something, jot it down on your own whenever you want, and do share it with me if you like to. So I'm going to get back to it. I'm talking too much, sorry guys. This next composition that I'm going to play now is called Sounds of Schwanheim, and it's about Schwanheim. It's about my experience in Schwanheim, and I hope you guys like it. Yeah. Thank you, Shritan. Yeah, so that was sounds of Schwanheim, and I hope you guys liked it. For those of you tuning in, like I said, for those of you who just came in, my name is Ashim. I'm a percussionist based out of Delhi, and Sofar Sounds Goa has been very kind to have me on board to do a live session as part of their weekly series called #Quarantuned. So I hope you guys are all staying safe and staying healthy back home, staying indoors. Practicing social distancing, and really trying to do whatever you can from back at your respective spaces to give back to the community. Like I said, do check out the comment in this live stream. There is a space where you can actually contribute. Goa Humanitarian Helpline is the organization. Do contribute as generously as you can. Right. This next piece that I'm going to do now is called. I'm just going to check on the time. Yes, we do have about 15 minutes, so we can do 2 or 3 compositions. This next one that I'm going to do is another new composition, and it doesn't have a name. It's something I've been working on for the last, I would say, almost 3 or 4 months, but I haven't been able to figure out what this composition, how it sort of came about, and what inspired me to write this piece. It's still a work in progress. If you have a notepad and pen, do feel free to draw, write, compose, whatever it is that you want to be a part of this entire live stream, and do share with whatever it is that you made. If you do compose something or draw something or write something, do feel free to share it with me or the Sofar Sounds Goa team. So this next one is untitled. It doesn't have a name. It's something I've been playing on and off on live streams as well, and I've been getting some really interesting feedback on it. So I'd like to hear from the people who have tuned in now. When you do hear it, if you'd like to share something in the comments, please feel free to. Alright, this next one does not have a name, and I'm going to play it now. Yep. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for commenting and thank you for joining in. This next live composition that I'm going to play for you all is actually the first composition that I ever wrote on this instrument. Um, Sorry, this is the first time actually when I've actually performed, and I haven't introduced you all to a very, very important person in my life, a very important person in my family, although you have already been introduced through the sounds, but you haven't been introduced formally. So this is to all of you before this, till now, till this very point, this was just an ordinary steel tongue drum that is in E major scale. But actually, this steel tongue drum is no ordinary steel tongue drum as a steel tongue drum, but he's actually he's called Machlu. That's his name, and he's about 3.5, 4 years old now, and I picked him up in. It's called a steel tongue drum, but to me, he's part of family, and his name is Machlu. And to all of you tuning in, whenever you do get to see him, you can also call him Machlu. You can become his friend. You can spend time with him as well. So yeah, Machlu is in E major, and I've been with him for about 3.5, 4 years now, and it's been a really interesting experience. We've performed across different cities. We've shared different experiences, and yeah, it's been a pretty fun experience with Machlu over the last 3.5, 4 years. I also have three other instruments that unfortunately are not here with me right now. One is Ved, who's this big handpan. There's Mira, and then there's my oldest companion, Leila. So it's been an interesting journey with the four of them, and we've had a lot of interesting and fun stuff that we've done in the last 4 or 5 years. Last couple of weeks, I've had enough time to spend with Machlu, and I've been working on different compositions, some reworking on some of the old compositions as well. This next one that I was going to do for you all now is the first composition that I ever wrote on Machlu, and it's called Machlu ki Baatein, Namak Para ki Yaadein, which, well, in English, if some of you who don't understand Hindi, it translates basically to, I'll tell you the story behind it. So basically, the context behind it is that when I first picked up this instrument, why it was called Machlu is because it instantly reminded me of this place that I spent most of my growing up years in. This place, which is in Dalhousie, in this place called Upper Bakrota, and right next to Bakrota, which is where we used to go on a lot of morning walks and evening walks together with the family. Dalhousie is a space in Himachal Pradesh, up in the north. And so there's this tea stall called, which was run by this, at the time, she's around 70 or 80 years old at that point. This old lady, very sweet, very friendly, and it was called Machlu's. So we used to spend a lot of time there, and we used to have namakpara and chai in particular. So when I picked up this instrument for the first time and I started playing, I was instantly transported to that particular memory of spending time in Machlu's. And the first composition that I made was an ode to that space. That's why it's called Machlu ki Baatein, Namak Para ki Yaadein, which essentially translates to conversations at Machlu's, at this particular space, and fond memories of eating namak para, which is a dish. It's a snack, like a namkeen that you have with your chai usually. So yeah, this next one is my not, I wouldn't say my favorite, because that's being biased towards this particular composition because it's the first one I wrote. But it's the oldest I've written on Machlu, and it's a very dear composition to me. So I hope you all like it. And like I said, keep your notepads out, keep your pens out. If you're a graphic designer, you want to use a laptop and you want to design something, whatever it is you want to do, it's entirely up to you. You can read, you can do whatever it is you want. So yeah, this next one that I'm going to do is called Machlu ki Baatein, Namak Para ki Yaadein, और अब मैं चुप रहूँगा और मछलू बोलेगा. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Um, okay, I think we can probably do just a couple of more compositions because we're almost out of time. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. So I'll do another one. I'll do one last uh, one and a half. We'll sort of merge two works in progress in together. These are two again that don't have a name. They're again things that I'm just working around with, trying to spend time in the afternoons. There's a lot of sounds. I'm sure all of you, this is the best time for us to. I mean, the only probably the upside of this entire thing, the only positive takeaway from this entire thing is that we have um, hit the reset button in terms of our environment and in terms of our nature and surroundings around us. You look at the birds, you look at all kinds of things, whether it's bird calls or the air, the water, everything around us has sort of come back, which is very, very interesting to see. I do work in the environmental space here in Delhi. Try to work with a lot of young kids. I work with an organization that has been working for 20 years in the space of environment and environmental education. So, particularly for me, it's a it feels great to see this, but it's also something I think that we all can learn a lesson from, and going forward we can actually make those changes in in our daily life in terms of bringing about some sort of sustainability and some sort of change that all of us can do at an individual level and at a community level. Yeah, so on that note, I'm gonna do one last composition that I've actually been trying to work on, slightly slower in terms of its tempo. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna try and merge it in to another work in progress. Let's see how it goes. It's something I'm doing for the first time. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This is another untitled track. Do feel free to give suggestions in the comments. I haven't been able to see everyone's comments, largely because I've just been talking too much. But yeah, I will go through them after this live as well, and feel free to write into me or write into Sofar Sounds after this as well. So yeah, this last one I'm going to do doesn't have a name again. Feel free to sort of give me suggestions afterwards. I hope you guys like it. So actually, the beauty of these live streams and of doing these things virtually now, over the last couple of weeks, almost a little more than a month now, I've done about 4 of these live sessions, counting today. And the beauty of it has actually been how, like before this, I said that I'm going to play something that I'm working on. I started off on the wrong foot. I started off on a wrong note, but I decided to go with it instead of actually trying to come back to what I wanted to play initially. So what I played right now for the last 3 or 4 minutes is actually something that was just coming to me while I was playing. It was not a work in progress. It was nothing. It's just a random composition that was just brewing in my head while I was playing different notes. So that's the beauty of these things, that it's materializing while you're playing for a group of 15 or 20 people who are tuning in at this point, listening in, and then they give you feedback based on what they hear. They write, they draw things, or they tell you how what's going on in their mind. So it's quite amazing. It's an interesting time. I'm talking to two mobile phones right now, but I'm actually connecting with 25 people uh, who are in different parts of the world or different parts of this country. So it's amazing, and they write back to you, and they tell you about your music. It feels good. It feels special. So it is in it's small bits of joy that one is able to get in these times of difficulty and stress for all of us. So I hope, just to end on that note, I hope that all of you guys are keeping well, staying safe, staying healthy, just making conversation with people, connecting with people, tuning in to live streams, no matter who's doing it, and trying to do your best to give back to the community as well. Um, I don't know, I don't know if my connection is slow, Nupura. Chintan, maybe I could just quickly yeah, so I could probably, because I think when I played it earlier, there were less people. I could do what I did at the anniversary gig 2 years back in October for Sofar Sounds Goa, which is live on their YouTube page as well, so you can check that out. So yeah, before signing off, two things. I'm going to be playing this song called Sounds of Schwanheim, which is a very interesting composition that I wrote a couple of years back when I was in this place called Schwanheim in Germany, in this forest. And yeah, I'm going to sign off with this composition. But before that, quickly, for those of you, now that we have more people here as well, I just want to let you know that it may not be pinned as a comment. I'm not sure if it is, but do check out Goa Humanitarian Helpline on both Facebook and Instagram. But don't just check them out. Please do contribute. Please do scan that QR code, because all proceeds from today, no matter what it is that you contribute and what amount it is that you contribute, will go towards the relief efforts that they are putting in, to all the SOS calls that they are answering for every single person who is in need and of any kind of help at this point. So please do contribute, and please do scan that QR code. All proceeds from today will go to them. And yeah, signing off with this last composition, which I played earlier during the set, called Sounds of Schwanheim. And if you want, do try and mimic the sound of what you think a rainy day in a forest would look like while we play this last piece. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to #Quarantuned as part of a weekly series that Sofar Sounds Goa is curating. Thank you, Sofar Sounds Goa. Thank you, Chintan. Thank you, Nupura. Thank you to the entire team for having me here for this session, and for extending my time, even though I think I'm being summoned for dinner very soon. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to just sign off on this quick composition. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you Nupura. Thank you Chintan for having me. It feels weird not to have any kind of response uh, with a group of people actually sitting next to you while listening to your music. But I'm taking all the hearts and all the comments that everyone is pouring in as love and appreciation, and giving that right back to all of you. Please take care, stay safe, and I hope to see most of you all in a live setting very very soon. Thank you Nupura, thank you for having me. And yeah, let's do this again. Hopefully not virtually, hopefully in front of a group of people. Thank you guys so much. Lots of love to everyone, and see you guys very very soon.